Show you how to get it. It go right foot up, left foot slide, left foot up, right foot slide.
I don't know. What do we do?
Basically, I'm saying either way.
That's it right there.
What is up, everyone? I am Kimmi Chex, and I am joined here with Denver Bronco tight end and fellow Iowa alumni, Mr. Noah Fant. Well, as you know, I cover fantasy football, so I have to ask you some fantasy-related questions. Let's start off with, do you play fantasy?
Yeah, I played in high school and freshman year of college quite a bit, but now I don't play that much. So
What? Why not?
I don't know, but especially during the season, I'm just like focused and trying to stay focused on what we're doing. So, but I'm definitely trying to stay updated on what's going on and how guys are doing. So
Okay, do you remember what your fantasy football team name was when you did play back in high school?
It was like Team Alpha Wolf Squad or some crazy stuff like that.
Where did that come from?
I was playing with a bunch of my buddies and we were just having fun. So it was good. Okay,
so if you do start playing fantasy football again, which I'm going to convince you to do, does that just mean you're going to draft yourself?
I definitely would. I'm excited for the upcoming years. Especially going from this year into next year. I'm excited for the improvements and what the year has to bring, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Okay, well, are you going to draft fellow teammates, Iowa alumni, or are you just stacking your team with the best weapons across the league?
Yeah, I'd have to draft George. He's gonna get a lot of points. That's already proven. But then other from that, at quarterback, I draft our quarterback, Drew Lock. I mean, I think that he's gonna be something special. So I think that we're gonna be able to develop a good connection on our offense, and I'm definitely excited. So.
Okay, so speaking of Drew and the Broncos offense, you guys in free agency got some pretty darn good offensive weapons. Talk about Melvin Gordon joining the Broncos. What do you think that's going to do for your offense?
Yeah, I think it's going to boost our offense a lot. We already have Philip Lindsay, who was a Pro Bowl running back for us, and 2 1,000-yard seasons from him, but then adding Melvin to that. Melvin's, a beast of running back, and he's proved it out there. And, I'm super happy that we signed him and we're able to, get him on our team.
So you just mentioned Melvin Gordon and what that means for the Broncos offense, but I also want to talk about Courtland Sutton. He had a breakout season last year. What exactly do you think makes him an elite player?
Yeah, Courtland's done some special things for us. I can say positively, he's one of the receivers that can catch any ball that comes to him. I've seen him go over the top of people, go around people, and make one-handed catch, make spectacular catches. So I think that's what makes him so special is he has a great knack for getting to the ball and obviously doing big things with the ball. So he definitely had a great season this year. I think he's going to be one of the elite receivers in the NFL.
So I was at the Pro Bowl and I talked to Courtland Sutton amongst other NFL players, and I kind of want to ask some fun non-football related questions. So I went around asking, who on your team would you trust the most and trust the least with babysitting your kids? So I go up to Courtland, I ask him, he gives me a number of guys that he would trust to babysit his future children. And then when he got to who he would not want to babysit his kids, he said, you, like outright, yeah. Not babysitting my future children.
That's an easy one. I know definitely would not let Noah Fant babysit my kids. That's not happening ever.
Yeah, me and Courtland's locker are like one locker away from each other. So he sees the true side of me every day. So we jump around a lot and have a lot of fun over there. So I love him, though. He's a great dude.
All right, so talk about your rookie season. Are there any improvements that you want to take into this year, and what are you looking forward to the most this season?
Yeah, rookie season was, it was a lot of ups and downs. It's a big learning process, especially for the tight end position. It's a large learning curve of what you have to do, and you're involved in all aspects of the game. So it was a great time, though. I had a great time playing. I got to play quite a bit, so it was a good experience for me. And then obviously going into year 2, just want to mainly improve on, I've been working on, getting heavier, just, adding lean body mass on, which is going to help me in the run game, blocking and stuff like that. And then just refining my routes, get them a little more crisp, have a better IQ of the game. I think, a great guy to look to for that is Travis Kelce. He's like, his IQ of the game is just like so high. And he definitely knows what he's doing. So that's definitely something that I've been looking to do.
All right. So speaking of fellow tight ends, you mentioned George earlier, and you just mentioned Travis Kelsey, but I want to get into the you and Kittle relationship. You both played together at Iowa, and Iowa has kind of gotten the nickname Tight End U. Can you talk about the foundation that Iowa has given both you and George, and then go into your relationship? I don't quite know that people realize that you guys are actually really close friends and have kind of a mentor-mentee relationship.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was definitely developed in the tight end U. You got George, you got me, you got TJ, you got Dallas Clark that came way before all of us. There's a bunch of guys that have come through. So it's definitely developed into that. And, just going there, I knew going there as a high school recruit that I was going to go there and develop and try to get to the NFL. So they did a great job of doing that with me. And, touching on the George relationship, it was just one of those things. I came as a freshman, and he was in his senior year, and just kind of took me under his wing. And I just like the way George leads. He's a great leader. He always makes the game fun when you're playing with him, and that's just kind of what our friendship is today. Always kind of joking around with each other, and at the same time keeping it serious and just making sure each other are doing good. And obviously he's doing really well, and I'm super happy for him.
So the 2010 All-Decade Team has just gotten released, and I sat down with two of our fantasy analysts, Adam Rank and Marcus Grant, to go over the tight end position. So the two tight ends that were named to the 2010 All-Decade Team were Travis Kelsey and Gronk. So I was kind of giving it a fun fantasy spin and tossed up the question. I said, let's look to the future. Let's do the little Raven Simone where she is psychic and can look ahead, and said, who were going to be the two all-decade fantasy tight ends for the 2020s? And Adam Rink, one of our analysts, said that it's going to be George Kittle, and it's also going to be you. So you're already getting a lot of fantasy love and a lot of excitement behind you.
Yeah, no, that'd be dope. And especially if that happens, then it's a consensus decision that I was tight in you for sure, and there's no taking that back. So
you're like, it's us. Iowa has solidified it. So George has the nickname, the People's Tight End. Do you have a nickname for yourself yet, or do we need to come up?
I do not have a nickname for myself, and that's the People's Tight End. That's a great nickname. I mean, that goes back to the WWE wrestling and all that stuff that he's into, and that's great. So, but I have to definitely think of a cool nickname for myself. So.
Okay, we could do something with your last name, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, that one wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be bad.
A little corny, but I don't know. We'll work on it. Or that could be your fantasy team name this year.
Yeah.
Because we're getting you in a league. All right, so you talked about wanting to refine your body mass and also understand your routes this season. What does that look like amid COVID-19? Obviously, teams have closed their facilities and players aren't able to get into their gyms and their normal facilities. So what does that look like for you amid Corona?
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough at first. I was out in California at first, and then I had to come back home to Denver just because of how crazy things were starting to turn. So came back home and kind of made my own home gym. Got a dumbbell set, got a squat rack, all this stuff, and put it into my garage and doing my own, workouts that the Broncos have sent us. So it's just kind of one of those things. You just take an initiative and really caring about your future and caring about what you want to do in the next season. So I've just been trying to do that, and then obviously as far as like the IQ of the game, we got new OC, Coach Shermer. So we're just trying to start as soon as possible and learning the offense, learning the routes, things like that. So just kind of staying in our playbook that he's given out so far.
All right, I want to go back to Drew Lock because I have a feeling that you guys have a fun kind of relationship and rapport that you've built. Last season, a clip of Drew actually went viral because he was sitting on the bench at one of your games and he was rapping word for word the song Put On. And he didn't even realize it until someone had mentioned it in a later interview. Does Drew have a little bit of swag that we don't really know about?
Oh, for sure. He's got some swag for sure. That's one of my favorite things about him, playing with him as a quarterback. It's just like he's not afraid to let that loose. He's not afraid to have fun out there and be joking around and obviously sing along with songs, stuff like that. So that's super dope. And obviously having him on our team and bringing that swag to our offense is something that we're definitely going to need.